Hello there and welcome back. My name is Doug, and here with yet another in a seemingly endless stream of fountain pen videos. I've got a new unboxing for you today, but before I get to that, I'm going to do a little preview of coming attractions. This is what I have on order so far. I'm expecting this PenBBS 323 in black tortoise. I've never had this model before, and it looks very interesting. It's kind of a smoke black. I'm expecting that in the next week or so. Plus, I'm getting two mini Fude nibs, fine, number 6 nibs from Bobby on eBay. And they fit the Moonman M6, the C1, or the M600S. I'm going to give it a try in my M600 as well to see whether those nibs fit, and I'll do a video on that. And finally, in probably a couple to 2.5 weeks, I will have a Lorelei 667 in this lovely green blue acrylic with the two-tone gold nib, and this gold nib is the same brand apparently as the mini Fude nib that I'm getting from Bobby, with a slightly upturned tip, which is typical of the PenBBS fine nibs, which I like so much. So I'm looking forward to that. Looks like a beautiful pen. But what I have here today is a pen I've been waiting for a little over 2 weeks now, and this is the PenBBS 480, and this one is in a galaxy blue. I did a review on the 480 earlier, and it was the Amber is a Cat, which I gave to my wife. I bought a second one for a friend, and by the time I got finished buying those two, they were sold out. So I liked the 480 so much in my review. In fact, I liked it a little bit better than my beloved Amber is a Cat 308 that I've been gushing about. So I ordered a 480 in the Galaxy Blue, and it was the last one in the store as well. So I'm hoping that this is a beautiful pen, which I expect it will be. I'm hoping it writes as well as my wife's 480 Amber is a Cat. So without further ado, I'm going to open this up and we'll take a look at it. Of course, as always, we will speed this up. We'll stop here just for a second to see what kind of a cat sticker I get. Oh, isn't that cute? It looks like a cat eating a 308. I could be wrong about the cat. I could be wrong about the 308. And we continue. And here we have the box with the familiar white sleeve and the designation 480-52. I assume that the 52 is the Galaxy Blue. It does say Galaxy right there. And the now very familiar PenBBS cardboard box with PenBBS embossed on the lid, a little red on the inside, and a magnetic flap. Ooh, and we have a pen sleeve. I purchased this one directly from PenBBS, so it looks like either they're liking me more or they've run out of foam, because usually there's a piece of foam in here. But they're giving me a little pen sleeve with it. Isn't that nice? Take the pen out of the condom. And there it be. Beauty shot. Well, that's just gorgeous. Let's take a look. Should be exactly the same measurements and details as the 480 Amber's a Cat that I reviewed. But let's see, 1.5 turns, and there's that beautiful PenBBS fine nib with the mini Fude tip. I've grown to love these tips, and if the ones that I'm getting from Bobby are exactly like these, I might buy quite a few to see how many number 6 nibs I can replace in my other pens. It is, of course, a cartridge converter, but also an eyedropper. And again, on the 480, the little silicone ring is above the threads rather than below them like on the 380. That hasn't seemed to bother the 480 I already have. There's the typical converter. Works well. I'm going to be forgoing that for eyedroppering this pen. It gets quite a lot of ink in it. And of course I'll be siliconing up those threads. You can feel that ring engage. And the typical PenBBS feed. These nibs tend to start out fairly dry, but when I ink this up, I think I'm going to demonstrate the technique that Chris has shown. I've used the same thing. It's a spark plug gapping tool that I've got from a hardware store, and you push it into the breather hole and you spread the tines that way. He uses a slightly different technique than I originally used. I would slide a smaller shim in there and pull sideways to widen that gap, but the way he does it is he pushes ever thicker shims into that nib to widen it out. And I tried it on 3 of my pens and it worked wonders. So we'll see how this one writes first, and then we will look to see whether it needs widening. Of course the pen does post, and it posts even nicer than the 308. Here's my Amber as a Cat 308, and you can see that it posts as well, but the cap design on this makes that a much thicker step when it's posted. This, when it's posted, is much thinner to the body, and it ends up being much sleeker, I find, in the hand. And the sections are slightly different as well, and I went over that in my comparison of my 308 and my wife's 480, that the sections are slightly different. And after writing with hers for about a week before I actually allowed her to take it, I'm finding that I like the 480 better in the grip section compared to my 308. It also has that added extra band, metal band right there. So, even though I've posted this information before on the previous 480 review, I will quickly put up the dimensions of this pen again here right now. Okay, and then we'll come back in just a second with some size comparisons with other pens. And we're back here with some size comparisons. Here is the 480. This is a Pilot Metropolitan. This is the Visconti Van Gogh, and this is a Faber-Castell loom. Okay, so here we are back for a writing sample. This is the PenBBS 480, and I've decided to pair this galaxy color with some Iroshizuku Asa-Gao, which is a nice brilliant blue, which I think matches this pen very nicely. And as I'm working with this pen, I'm really admiring the chatoyancy in that acrylic. Of course, there's just as much in the amber, but this is a beautiful blue acrylic. So let's see. I'm going to post this pen too. I have eyedroppered this, and it took a lot of ink. I measured that earlier, and in my earlier video I'll post the capacity, my guess at the capacity here as well. But let's get going with a writing sample. This is the PenBBS 480. Galaxy, and it is a fine point. And this is Iroshizuku Asa-Gao ink. And all I can say is my first time putting this nib to paper, it is like silk. It is even smoother than my Amber as a Cat 308. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. Let's check the wetness. It feels very wet. This feels like the wettest PenBBS nib I've had. It's fairly wet. I don't think I want it any wetter than that. It really is that mini Fude upturned tip that just has such a nice sweet spot. It is smooth. There's just a hint of feedback. Let's see. Again, it's stiff like all the others. Not expecting any line variation out of this at all. So very stiff. No bounce to that nib at all, but that's not something that I care about. It really writes nicely. The grip is beautiful. I can hold it all the way up and down here. There's no feeling to those threads at all. And when posted like this, it is very nicely balanced. And unposted, it is a good length. So if you don't like to post your pens, that's a very nice writing experience as well. So I'm going to write with this for a few days, and then we'll come back and do our evaluation using the grading scheme and see what we come up with. I'm guessing already, but let's write with it for a couple of days and see how it behaves. But I'm loving this pen. Okay, now I'm back. I have written with this for quite a while, a lot of pages. It didn't take me long to understand that this pen is simply the finest writing instrument, fountain pen, I have experienced so far. And that includes my beautiful and very expensive Visconti Van Gogh. My previous favorite was the Amber is a Cat 308. I have another 308, doesn't write quite as nicely as this one, but the writing experience on this one has been fabulous. I didn't think it could get better. This one just surpassed it. And I can gush about all kinds of things. The acrylic on this pen, the resin, if it's an acrylic resin, I'm not sure, but it's unbelievably deep, chatoyant, gorgeous, swirling, and with the chrome accents, it just looks beautiful. I love the new clip, that sword style clip. It's very functional. It's very springy. I love that the cap band doesn't go all the way to the end. It might cause some structural issues with that. I don't know, but we'll find out. But it means that this tapers down and comes to the body in a sleek line. And it just makes the overall pen look really elegant. Especially when you're posting it. That line is very sleek and very elegant. The added ring right there makes it look beautiful. I don't know whether it's structural or not. The resin chatoyancy matching up with the section. You can see how this, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but how the chatoyancy line right there in this resin, it's all tooled from the same single piece. So the section is the same piece as the body. Again, I don't know how they do that, but it's wonderful. This concave section is so nice on the hand, and that little lip at the bottom is wonderful. But overall, the nib on this one is just, I can't say enough about it. It just has such fabulous flow. It is easily the wettest PenBBS fine nib that I've ever had, and I have 4 of them now. So lots of things to say nice about this pen. So now I'm having a difficult time finding what to say negatively. What don't I like about the pen? Well, nothing. There's nothing I don't like. When I really search, maybe I can say, okay, the one thing maybe I don't like that much is the price. This pen was cost me overall, like with the shipping and everything, like about $36.99. I'm thinking right now, $36.99. I think I'll put the price up. Then that's US. And I understand that price is higher for the 480s. It's about $4 in each one of the colors. This model is $4 more expensive than the 308. And this one is the highest priced of them because it was a limited edition. The Galaxy is always more expensive. So in terms of value, you could say, well, you can get this 480 in the same writing experience in some very nice resins, starting at $17.99. Currently, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models, or not models, but 5 resins, finishes available for the 480 that are $17.99, and then they go up to $22.99 from there. So you can get this pen for cheaper. So I would say if I've got to rate this pen and knock it for something, it would be the price. Well, yes, because you can get them slightly cheaper. But this pen cost me $315 Canadian. And it doesn't write at half as beautifully as this pen does for what cost me maybe around $50 Canadian. So you have to put that in perspective. We're talking about an inexpensive Chinese pen. And it's just the most gorgeous writing experience. So I'm going to stop gushing and start evaluating. In terms of design and build, I just can't find anything wrong with this pen. I looked at the other 480 and I noticed this little step right here that steps down to the body that allows that cap to sit right in there perfectly. They're inside the cap. They have tooled a little step for the section to fit against perfectly, so it seals that cap. The standoff of the clip from here and allowing that to spring. Everything about it just looks beautifully designed and beautifully built. So I really can't find fault with that at all. So that's got to be a 4. In terms of writing and feel, this is easy. That's a 4. If I could give it, and this is out of 4. So if I could give it more than a 4, I would, but I can't. Each one of these categories is out of 4. In terms of the look, this is incredibly gorgeous pen. So again, I can't knock it there. So 4 again. What about value? So at this price, in terms of value, yes, you can get this pen cheaper and you get that writing experience cheaper. So this is the top of the line of this particular model. So let's go 3.75 then and try to really knock this pen down. But oh my God, we're talking about a few bucks. So when we're looking at this pen overall, we're looking at 15 3/4 out of 16 in terms of my evaluation. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed this. We will see if any other pen can surpass this one, but I'd be surprised. I'm going to be writing with this one for days and days and days. I just love this Galaxy 480. And as always, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.